I live, work my biz, I'm too far from the rest, not what you used to. Okay, this ain't what you used to. Always with the new, this ain't what you used to. I do me, do you. I do me, do you. This ain't what you used to.
It's July in South Florida. That means rainy season. That also means if you don't stay on top of things, you'll quickly have an overgrown jungle like I have here. It's hard to believe, but this entire agroforestry system is only 7 months old, and most of it I started from either seeds or cuttings. Some might see this jungle and feel totally overwhelmed, but I see this as a blessing, and I intentionally planted all these things in order to produce biomass for me to use to feed my soil, to cover my soil as green mulch, to feed the plants, so it's a blessing. I found there's truly nothing I love more than getting to wield my machete, my granddad's machete actually. Now that the blade is super sharp, it's really important to be careful when swinging around the machete, especially in a tight agroforestry system like this where I have higher value trees that I don't want to accidentally knock down or cut down, like this Monroe avocado that I have on the right. I'm freeing it from being smothered by this massive pigeon pea that's right next to it. And the beauty of managing a system in this way is that pigeon pea is a nitrogen fixer, so it's taking nitrogen from the atmosphere and bringing it down into the soil so that the nearby plants, in this case my Monroe avocado, can use that nitrogen. Not only does chopping down this pigeon pea give me green mulch to lay around my avocado tree, which will cover the soil to prevent weed growth and also keep the sun off the soil, and also it slowly breaks down and fertilizes the tree, the avocado tree, but also the nitrogen nodules that are on the roots of that pigeon pea drop in distress from me chopping it, so that means there's more available nitrogen for my, in this case, avocado tree. And also, so many benefits. Cutting down the pigeon pea also sends a distress signal, sort of like a growth burst to all the nearby plants saying, hey, we're getting chopped down, it's time to grow faster. I've spread pigeon pea seeds all over this lot just for this reason, so I can have chop and drop. Because remember, I started with just straight grass. There was no biomass, no organic matter for me to put around my trees or feed my soil. And you can see here the end result is lots of nice green matter that's going to break down slowly and feed that avocado tree. Found a surprise watermelon, so I'm just gonna get it off the soil by laying it on this piece of wood so that it doesn't rot on the ground. Back to chopping and dropping. I've got a massive pigeon pea here that has swallowed my Barbados cherry that you can't even see at the beginning here. You can't even see where the Barbados cherry is and where the pigeon pea is. So I've got to cut back this pigeon pea so that the Barbados cherry can get some light and have some space to grow. Because these two plants are so intertwined, it's important here to be doing, short swings. Not like that. Oh, this is where I realized that I accidentally chopped my Barbados cherry. Oh well, it'll be fine. There's always losses and accidents that happen when the machete gets going, but it'll be fine. If anything, it'll just stimulate the cherry tree to grow more. And because I grow so densely in this system, there are plants, even though you can't see them here, there's plants growing at the base of almost all of my trees as ground cover, which I talked about in a previous video. So I'm being careful not to step on plants that I want to keep or to too deeply cover them with the chop and drop. Yeah, final product. All that good mulch around that Barbados cherry. Because pigeon pea is such a fast-growing tree and it's warm outside and we're in our rainy season, the trees are going to recover really quickly. I know it looks like I'm being really aggressive with cutting these back, and I am. When I'm done with these, all these pigeon peas will be 2 or 3 feet tall, and in just a couple weeks, they'll be back to being 7, 8 feet tall like they are now. And that means I'll get to do this all again. I'll get to chop and drop and cut back the whole system and feed all of my fruit trees. Got a Louisiana sweet orange and a variegated pink lemon that are really happy with all that chop and drop. I've got a wild vine here that's trying to choke out one of my mulberries, so I'm just going to free that up. Not all of the jungle taming requires a machete. I also took down some of my other favorite chop and drop, which is Mexican sunflower, Tithonia diversifolia. It's growing like crazy right now, and week after week it just keeps doubling in size. I chop it down, and the next week it's back again. They also call Mexican sunflower vegan chicken manure because it has the same chemical properties as chicken manure. So it makes great food for your plants. Oh, another machete casualty. I knocked down one of my solar lights with the machete accidentally. I'll fix this eventually. I didn't even notice this one. Pretty good size. And we've got a yellow spot. Means it's ready to harvest. Heavy. Gonna reclaim my pathway in this agroforestry row. I've already got this area really deeply mulched, so I'm gonna take these pigeon peas over to another part of the farm where I do need some more ground cover and fertilizer. Do what you gotta do to cover your soil, y'all. It is a butt-naked soil epidemic out in these YouTube streets. Naked soil means it's gonna need more water. Not to mention, the sun is scorching the soil that your roots are in. And let's not forget that the goal is to have living soil. So that means there are things, life forms, there's things living in your soil that don't want to be getting burnt up in the sun 10, 12 hours a day. It needs to be covered. My little peanut butter fruit tree seedling needs some fertilizer and some ground cover, so I'm spreading this Mexican sunflower around in a ring around the base of the tree. Gonna give a little of this Mexican sunflower love to my Pakistani mulberry. There actually is a lemon drop mangosteen being smothered by all this Mexican sunflower and Cuban oregano. Oh, here it is. Yeah. It's trying. Yeah, see, it gets a little light over here, but I need to cut. Oh, this is my chaya. I grew this from a cutting. It's awesome. Longevity spinach, thriving. I'm gonna take some more cuttings today. But anyway, let's cut all this back so that the lemon drop mangosteen can live. I'm gonna cut all this. Give it some room. Let's get to it.
Please do not get in my way. You cannot drive in my lane. Tires is burning the pain. You don't have nothing to say. This is how legends are made. I know I got what it takes. And I'm not pumping the brakes. And I'm not pumping the brakes. I'm too competitive. I like the narrative that I'm the best in the league. Who you comparing with? That isn't competitive. Top of the throne, it is me. How you moving slow when it's speed? I just been bringing the heat. I just been bringing the fire. Bringing the fire. I just been bringing the. And they can't stop me.
I was just indiscriminately chopping and dropping the Cuban oregano, but I noticed these have some roots on it, so it wants to grow. I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it here next to my Persian lime. Cuban oregano is great for smothering out the grass, and I would love to get rid of some of the grass over by this lime. Same goes for this cassava. I'm planting some Cuban oregano cuttings. They're not rooted, but Cuban oregano roots so easily. I can just chop this into a little bit smaller pieces, stick it right into the ground, and it'll root. I'm spreading some Mexican sunflower around the base of this cassava to get it fertilized. This is my first year growing cassava, and I'm super excited about getting my first harvest next year. As I was stripping the leaves to fertilize the cassava, I noticed, actually this would make a great cutting, great size. So the Mexican sunflower roots really easily from cutting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put these into the ground right by the cassava so I can very easily access fertilizer next time I wanna chop and drop some down for this cassava. It wasn't easy for me to find Mexican sunflower cuttings to get my crop going, so that's what I want to offer my community. If anybody wants to purchase any Mexican sunflower cuttings from me, I'll ship them to you. My email address is in the description. Just hit me up. These are some weeds. I don't know what they're called, but I'm constantly pulling these because if I don't pull them when they're smaller, they really root like trees and grow so fast. So I like to pull them up. But nothing goes to waste here. I'm just going to also lay them in a ring around this papaya tree. Careful of my Okinawan spinach that's right there. But these will also break down and feed the papaya tree. Found some more green manure. I chopped down this black oil sunflower because it got knocked down in a storm. It wasn't going to keep growing anyway, so I'm just going to cut back the leaves and feed it to the papaya. And I could leave this sunflower stem whole, but it'll break down faster if I chop it into smaller pieces. The stem was just dripping water as I was chopping it. There's so many good reasons to chop and drop live plants onto your fruiting plants, to feed it, to water it, to cover the weeds, to cover the soil. It's all good stuff. Here's the head of that black oil sunflower that got knocked down. These seeds are immature, so I won't plant them, but the birds are going to love to eat them. Now we can walk through these agroforestry rows without getting smacked in the face with pigeon pea or anything else. I'm going to use my trimmer and cut the grass down and use that also as a ground cover around the plants. I was able to drop Mexican sunflower and pigeon pea around the bottom of most of my fruiting trees in this agroforestry row. That's the end of another successful day of chop and drop. Until next time.